History is full of epic battles, Waterloo, Stalingrad, battles where heroes were made and empires fell. But today, we're talking about a battle that is usually left out of the textbooks because it is, quite frankly, the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to a human being in uniform. We are going back to September 1788. The Austrian Empire, led by Emperor Joseph II, is at war with the Ottoman Empire. Joseph has an army of 100,000 men. They are professional, they are well-armed, and they are ready for glory. But there was one major problem. The Austrian Empire was a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. This army was made up of Austrians, Serbs, Croats, Italians, and Frenchmen. They spoke different languages, ate different food, and most importantly, they could barely understand a word their own officers were saying. This is a story about how a language barrier and a few barrels of booze destroyed an entire army without the enemy even showing up. It's night time. A group of hussars, that's the fancy light cavalry, crosses the Timis River to see if the Turks are nearby. Do they find the Ottoman army? Nope. Do they find a trap? No. They find a group of locals with carts full of schnapps. Now, if you're a soldier in 1788 and you find free-flowing alcohol, you don't keep scouting. You start a party. The hussars buy the booze and start drinking like there's no tomorrow. A little while later, a group of infantrymen, the foot soldiers, crosses the river. They see the cavalry having a great time and say, "Hey, can we have some?" But the hussars? They've had a few too many. They don't want to share. A heated argument breaks out. Voices are raised. Someone gets pushed. And then, a shot is fired. Nobody knows who did it, but that single pop changed everything. In the middle of the drunken brawl, someone, maybe as a joke, maybe out of pure panic, screams, "The Turks!" Everyone freezes. The drunken hussars jump on their horses and bolt back toward the main camp. The infantry, thinking the legendary Ottoman janissaries are right behind them, start sprinting too. Now, imagine being a soldier in the main camp. It's pitch black. Suddenly, you hear thousands of hooves thundering toward you and people screaming in languages you don't understand. You assume the worst. The Austrian officers try to restore order. They scream, "Halt!" But remember that language barrier? The non-German soldiers hear, "Allah." They think the Turks have already breached the camp and are shouting their battle cry. They start shooting. At what? At anything that moves. Which, unfortunately, is their own friends. It gets worse, much worse. An artillery commander sees the chaos and thinks, "This is it, the great Ottoman charge." He orders the cannons to fire. He's not firing at the Turks. He's firing grapeshot directly into the crowded Austrian camp. Chaos is now total. Men are waking up in their tents and stabbing their roommates. Cavalrymen are riding over their own infantry. It's every man for himself. And where is the emperor? Joseph II is trying to figure out what's happening. But in the panic, his horse gets spooked. The emperor of the Holy Roman Empire is thrown off his saddle and lands headfirst into a muddy ditch. He spends the rest of the battle covered in swamp water, watching his 100,000-man army run away from themselves. 2 days later, the actual Ottoman army finally arrives. They had their swords sharpened and their plan ready. They expected a massive, bloody fight against the strongest force in Europe. Instead, they found a ghost town. The field was covered in dead Austrian soldiers, abandoned cannons, and empty schnapps barrels. The Grand Vizier of the Ottomans probably just stood there, scratched his head and said, "Well, that was easy." They took the city of Karansebas without losing a single man. The Austrians lost anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 men that night, all because of a drink, a bad translation, and a whole lot of paranoia. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments which battle I should cover next.